Angels and Demons 2009, the film version sequel to the Da Vinci Code 2006, featuring the Robert Langdon character played by an older Tom Hanks. He's like the politer, nerdier, weaker version of Indiana Jones type of character, and he gets caught up in these. He's a Harvard teacher, symbologist, so he gets caught up in these conspiracies of, it's a thriller mystery where the past meets the present beautifully with an awesome soundtrack, Ron Howard production, where the Robert Langdon character has to decode these puzzles, and just great storytelling from Dan Brown. He'll twist the facts of history for the convenience of suspense, and that's why I love these. It's just great storytelling. It might not be that factual, but let's just jump right into this. This is more for fans, spoilers throughout this who've seen both films. So, the opening Columbia Pictures logo starts with the Da Vinci theme, and it slowly turns into the Angels and Demons theme. Oh, it just sets the mood for this movie. But here's the thing. The Catholic Church's feelings were still hurt from the Da Vinci Code success. So they had to they filmed this in Rome, but they weren't allowed in any Catholic churches, so a lot of it's filmed in LA studios, or Sony studios, so it's the detail of the patina is just unauthentic, and it just isn't there, you know. That really takes away with it if you have one beef with this film. Filmed, like I was saying, now let's just jump into the plot. The plot and conspiracy that he gets into this, Robert Langdon, is it's Illuminati versus the church, the science versus the church theme that they build up, and which basically gets Robert Langdon into the Vatican archives. That's what you watch it for. And that's what probably Dan Brown wrote it for, just to get that character into the prestigious Vatican archives. It's an awesome moment. They weren't even allowed to film in the Vatican archives. You could see like History Channel where they were allowed to film in the Vatican archives. It's a lot different from what they did. The place that they filmed was more high tech. The real Vatican archives are like old school and like scrolls up on racks and stuff. But we get great lines like Pope Pius IX and the Great Castration, 1857. Yeah, he took a chisel to all the Bernini statues. Classic. So I'm just gonna, instead of going into every freaking detail and making this a 15-minute video, I'm just gonna get to the gist of it and spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching both films. So we find out it's an elaborate scheme by Father McKenna, played by Ewan McGregor. Because he's Irish, they conveniently made him Irish in the film. The character Irish. I think he was Italian descent in the book, if I'm not mistaken. And he pulls it off with these Ryan Phillippe look-alike hitman. And he's so smart that he stays completely ahead of the smarter Robert Langdon. He even kills the favorites. He blends the conspiracy of the Illuminati and the 4 scientists being executed by the church. He even blames that on the Illuminati, and he gets this scheme, and he even kills the favorites, the Preferini, to take on the Pope. And all this is going on in the middle of the conclave, pre-conclave, and you're like, oh, only in a book, right? So, let's replay the music, and then I'll get into more of the plot here. So, let's see here. So yeah, he kills the 4, even though they just selected the new Pope today. It was what sparked me to definitely rewatch this for like the 4th or 5th time. even the Pope that they elected today wasn't even the favorite, so he had to kill a lot more. But he still gets elected because of his heroic act. But what we find out is he was offended by the Pope's attention to the antimatter and the physicists that he befriended in Switzerland, and that's the whole bomb thing that he equivalates into that, and he sees it as blasphemy. So he takes down the Pope, who he was an orphan and was taken in by the Pope, and he was only a priest, and he was trying to become the youngest Pope ever while he was doing it. And ironically, he gets caught by science and the camera, and so even Robert Langdon didn't even figure it out, this scheme. It was that elaborate that he had Robert Langdon running all over town, but he didn't. They only figured it out from science. Is what caught him is the cameras. They play the cameras. So McKenna, played by Ewan McGregor, the Carmelango, puts himself in a position where the only noble thing he could do is kill himself. And that's what he does in this amazing scene where he's like, Father. He grabs the candle and he goes down into the Catholic shrine. It's an amazing scene, and he's like, Father, I commend thee into your hands. I commend thy spirit. Then he smashes the candle and the oil all over himself, and the CGI flames go up. And then the actor that they hired to play the security guard looking at him like almost ruins the whole scene, but it's still an amazing performance by Ewan McGregor, and the villain is this. Absolutely love it. A-. Cannot wait to see The Lost Symbol. About to do a news video on that after I listen to the audiobook of that. So, tell me your thoughts on it. And that's pretty much all my thoughts on it. I give it an A- because I'm that much in love with the character in this franchise.